Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about 5 love languages for singles by Chapman. A 329-page book. I talked about 5 love languages for singles. So who are singles? Singles are mature adults, and there are 5 categories: never married, divorced, widowed, single parents, and living separately but they are not divorced, but they're not living under the same roof. Now, as singles, we need to understand ourselves. What makes us feel loved? How do we make people feel comfortable around us? How do we give love to people? If you don't love yourself, you can't give love to people. I want us to know that. Then also, we need to know that love is the foundational block of building everything, even with God, even with human being. Love is very, very important. Give us example of a man named Rob that had a spinal cord issue that really stagnated his life, but he came out of it because his parents make him feel loved. He had a friend that made him feel loved. So in the atmosphere of creating love environment among us, we make people feel important. And also as singles, we always want to feel significant. We always want to be like, yes, I'm there, I'm there, like nobody's taking my place, I'm there. So the next thing is the key to your relationship. The key to your relationship is knowing the quality. What value does he add to your life? This friend am I having? What has been the negative part, or what has been the positive aspect part of it? What have I gained so far? It brings us to our parental love. Parental love is very, very difficult. There's some people that grew up without parental love and they are really troubling our society. Their parents doesn't have time for them, so we could see that parental love is very, very important. The other one is the romantic side of it. When you're in a relationship with somebody, and this one, you divided it into 2 parts. The first stage of love, which is obsessed. When you're obsessed with each other, that is when you, without a day, you can't sleep without talking to the person, without seeing the person. Even when the person has weaknesses, you don't tend to see it, because as they will say, you are in love. They will say that you are, as if love is here. That's when they say love is blind. You don't see, even when people are saying that, look at this guy. Give an example of a couple that they've been married for 5 years, the guy doesn't have a work. So whenever they were like, they asked the wife, your husband hasn't gotten a work, you will defend the husband. So you could see that they are still in the obsessed stage of love. And the next one is covenant stage of love. This is one when you really getting serious. You've seen the strength, seen the weaknesses, and you still want to go on with it. Yes, you still have like, okay, I know this person has a weakness, I know this person has a strength, but yes, I still want to go on with it because this person is really, really adding value to my life. So straight away, let's go into the 5 love language. First of all is word of affirmation. Word of affirmation is a verbal expression of appreciation of love to someone around us. We do this a lot. So sometimes as ladies, you dress up because you want somebody to say, wow, I love your dress. Or we did a particular year and we want people to say, yeah, it's fine. And when they do it, we feel this kind of love. I'm like, oh, so I'm actually really pretty. Yeah. So word of affirmation is actually cool. It helps us, your friends, maybe they did something for you and you appreciate them. Wow, I'm so grateful to have you, I'm so blessed to have you. People, they feel loved. Even next time when you have a work for them, they are eager to do it because that obviously you appreciate me. So the next thing is gifts. Some people love having gifts. They keep it. They always keep your gift, even when some years after you ask them like, don't touch that gift. Somebody that gave me, they don't always want to give your gift out. They just want to be seeing it, remembering it, that yes, you love them. Then the next thing is act of service is when you try to help the person out. Maybe try to help somebody with his or her report, or maybe the person is running late on a course, or maybe the person needs to submit an urgent file, then you help out. I'm talking about singles. Yes, you try to help out. Then the next thing is quality time. Quality time is when you are giving your undivided attention. You try to go out for lunch, you are not pressing your phone, you are focused on the person. Then the last one obviously is physical touch. Physical touch in the case of giving a warm hug to the person, or a reassuring squeeze among genders that are different though. Give them hugs. You give them, you make them feel that yes, you are there for them. You can hug them, you can hold their hands, just make them feel love. I have discussed about the 5 love languages. So first thing is, what is your love language? What's your primary love language? What do people do to you that you feel loved with? What do people do to you? I'm like, so this person really loved me. What's your love language? You need to know it. So please, for your love language. And if you notice that out of this one, I get this comment along like, out of the one you've discussed, none of it is mine. Okay, first of all, what is your temperament? What do you want people to do for you? What do you think in your mind people should do for you? What do you expect from people? Now put it in the extra light of this five love language, then you definitely find your love language. Then also, after you find your love language, start with your immediate family. I do it with my family, with my brothers a lot, and my mom. I got to know that my mommy's love language is quality time. So amidst our family, before we go out there in make relationship or love relationship, start with your family. What's my father's love language? What's my mommy's love language? What's my brother's love language? Start, we could live in harmony. Then this is when it talks about dating. When you're in a relationship, you need to know your partner's love language, so that you will not be complaining and criticizing each other all the time. Then also, when you come to marriage, give an example of a couple, Mark and Sylvia. When they were in courtship, they speak each other's love language, but when they got married, they stopped speaking it, and trouble starts starting. Like one of my mothers will say, she'll say, what you are not ready to do in marriage, just start in courtship. But love language is very, very crucial. So you need to know your partner's love language, speaking while you guys are caught, and when you are married, don't stop. So that's just the aim of that chapter. Don't stop saying it. Don't stop speaking your love language. Their love language. Let their love tank keep being filled up every time, every time. If you speak their love language, you want to do it in return. You know it's as God. So when we make God happy, God bless us in return. Yeah. So also, relationship, I said this for singles. What about your roommates? What about your partners? What about the people you work with? What about people that work for you? Know their love language. People that you are having issues with, tend to understand. Like my spiritual father will say, instead of asking this person doesn't understand me, try to understand the person. What's the person's temperament? What does he love doing? What is person's love language? What could I do that could bring me closer? If you give us the example of two co-workers that hate themselves, but one of them decided to go out to look for love language and started speaking it, they became friends. They couldn't know they could become friends because they reset themselves a lot. And it brings this type of, when you resent yourself, you cannot work together in harmony. You can't work together. So that's just about that. Then the 13th chapter talks about singles with kids, those that have little kids. Let's find their love language. This book gives us some questions as a parent you need to go through to know your children's love language. Make them feel loved. Speak their love language to them. Kids do have it. If you know there's some people that kids love them because they speak their love language. Some of our children, they don't feel loved because we don't speak their love language. Try to know, what's this person's love language? What does he want me? What does he like me doing for him? What does he ask of me frequently? Yes, these are these questions you need to ask so that you could speak the person's love language. Then the last one is when he's telling us about love is the key. This is where I want to bring a question. Does God have a love language? When I was reading the book, I was like, yes, certainly God does have a love language. When you and I know our love language, we live in love, we live in harmony. And don't forget, God is love. When we live in harmony, the world becomes a better place. God's plan became known on earth. Obviously, God is pleased. That's God's love language. You might try to bring many comments. I'm leaving this question with you. What do you think is God's love language out of these 5 love languages I have discussed today? Now, let's don't forget, love even when you don't want to love. Love even when you don't feel like it, because you just need to walk in love as Christ has promised us to do, so that we don't be like the Pharisee. We need to love. Even though, we don't love because someone loves us, but we love because we are told to do so, because Christ will be pleased when we love. So that's all for today. Don't forget the question, what is God's love language? So I'm going to see you next time when I'm going to bring another book. Stay blessed and bye. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe, click the notification button, the bell beside it, and please give a thumbs up, and preferably please leave a comment behind. Let us know what your view is about. Which book do you want us to review? Yeah, I'm going to see you next time.